Welcome, welcome, welcome to another exciting episode of Wind Down with Kev. Big thank you to everybody for taking time out of your busy day to watch us on live stream, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Thank you so much. Special thanks to everyone that has already clicked the subscribe and notification button. Thanks to you, we are growing, and we are growing. We get sponsors. So big thank you to my sponsors, Carol Media and Canopy Connect. Please reach out to them both for all things digital. And I must acknowledge my banking partner, Wintrust Bank. Talk to them for all things financial. That being said, I'm super excited to bring you another episode of Wind Down with Kev. In this episode of 50 podcasts, 50 agents from 50 states, we travel to the great state of Mississippi, where we talk to one of the top 50 urban entrepreneurs in the Mississippi area. He is a member of the District Growth Council for the state of Mississippi. He is a wonderful family man, a wonderful father, and one of the rising stars in all state. Ladies and gentlemen, put your warm Wind Down with Kev hands together and give a warm welcome to my brother, Mr. Brad Ford. All right, what's going on, my brother?
Oh man, doing well. Doing
You
absolutely
doing well?
amazing. Amazing. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. I hear it in your voice. So before we get busy in the business, I want you to shout out your beautiful bride, also an all-state agent, and I want you to acknowledge your growing family.
So of course I would love to acknowledge my beautiful wife, Valencia Ford. She is so amazing. She took this journey with me when I started into the business. She worked with me alongside me at first when I first opened my agent and then my agency. And of course, the next year, Miss Ford was pumped and excited to open her own. So ventured out, and I have alongside Miss Ford, we have three beautiful children. We have Brad Jr. 15, Braden, who's 11, and we have our beautiful baby girl, Vea Simone, who is 1 years old.
Outstanding, outstanding. No judgment, but you smiled more when you introduced your daughter than you did your son. You smiled more when
Oh
you
yeah,
said your daughter's
oh
name.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's
Bring
it.
me up to speed. I have watched you post pictures of young Brad on the football field, the basketball court. Where is he at in his journey? What year in school, and how was his seasons this year?
Brad is actually a sophomore at Brandon High School here in Brandon, Mississippi, and he's playing cornerback in football. So he was wide receiver and corner, but he has been chosen as one of the elites in the area of being a cornerback. Looking forward to him to do some big things this year. Some of the juniors and seniors have moved forward, and Brad is showcasing his talent this year. Uh, he did not play basketball this year as I thought he would, or track. He's let both of those go. Now he's focused strictly on mastering one thing, and that's what he stated. He wants to focus on mastering one thing right now. So he's going all in, training on his own, and just working out and focus, watching film, etc.
I got a strong feeling having a dad that's super focused and knows the power of focusing on one thing. I got a
Yes.
strong feeling that he's seen his folks demonstrate that, and he's duplicating the way he's been raised and making y'all super proud with his super focus on the one thing as opposed to too many things. He's did that, he done it, proved
Hmm.
himself, and now it's time for business. Do I have that
Yes.
about right?
That's accurate. That's the mindset. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So, Brad, tell me what you love about being an all-state agent.
Well, Kev, I get a chance to help people manage their risk, their daily risk, and some of their biggest assets. And I like to say we help them protect their wealth, their wheels, and their walls. And when we talk
Wow.
about the wealth, we're talking about protecting their financial future and their legacy. We talk about um, the wheels. We talk about their dream cars and dream mobile businesses, things of that nature. And we talk about the walls. Of course, their brick and mortar dream businesses, dream homes, things of that nature, investment properties. That's a dream for a lot of people to have multiple streams of income and be able to provide living spaces, for residential spaces and commercial spaces for people. And we get a chance to protect help them manage their blessings on a daily basis. And that's a good feeling.
I love, oh, it's a great feeling. And I love you started the answer with just with helping people because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So, Brad, I hope I don't hurt nobody feels when I say it, but you've been one of my favorite agents. I love how you brand yourself. Um, I love how you just approach the digital marketing business that we're in. So I love your brand. I love how, although we work for a powerful brand, I love how you branded yourself
Yes. Thank you.
media philosophy because it's beautiful, and anybody that's not following you online should be following you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
What would you say? What's your philosophy? What is your approach? How did you carve out your unique strategy where what I see, and correct me if I miss anything, um, first, you always give people a word of encouragement. You don't hide your faith. You don't mind sharing that you believe it's going to be a good day, not just for you and for your family, but others as well. I love the frequency you talked about wheels, walls, and wealth. You post about life insurance and the importance and the simplicity of protecting families more than most do, and your brand. So, talk to me about where that comes from because that doesn't come from the playbook of being an Allstate agent. That comes from you.
Absolutely. So, Kel, with that piece, it's a piece that's dear to my heart, especially here in the state of Mississippi. And if I can be honest, a lot of people that look like us are not super prone and move too fast when we talk about protecting their legacy, right? Um, I often have seen over my years being in the area of financial services where I started before I opened an Allstate agency, where people shy away to talk about planning for the afterlife. And I think that's always a great starter. And I like to educate in that area to dive into the household to get everything else, to discuss everything else when we talk about the wealth, the wheels, and the walls, right? But life insurance, and with me having a family branded agency, I think that just pairs with my vision. That was a vision that I had when I first opened or before I opened the doors. I wanted to be a family oriented agency where it's considered a family business. And I knew I couldn't get that with other businesses or other company brands outside of the Allstate setup, which is one of the best models I still think to today. So that's kind of where my philosophy is. We can take care of the foundational things such as the life insurance portion, talking about retirement plans, talking about how you can make money while you sleep. A lot of people, when we talk about that, that's more intriguing and enticing first. And then we can just dive into the other areas such as the home, the autos, the boats, the motorcycles, etc.
Listen, you can be open and honest and candid. It's just us talking and maybe a couple of thousand people watching, but we're not worried about that. We just have a regular conversation as if we were at a networking event and it's just me and you talking. But let's stay there in our community, African American community within this larger insurance industry that we are a part of. Um, this generation, these generations now have the opportunity first to accumulate wealth and then to preserve wealth with products like life insurance. And like you said, it's not a popular conversation. It would be easier to talk about the ball game, NBA, NC2A. It's easier to talk about those things. How are people receiving the consistency of your conversation in this area as opposed to thinking, well, Brad, you're an Allstate insurance agent. The only thing I want from you is to save me $5 on my car insurance.
Well, they're opening up more and more because it's something that I discuss. So even when I come to different events and things like that, first thing they say, "Hey, Brad, I like how you broke it down on social media. How you was at the drawing board, dry eraser board, breaking this down, and you recorded it, man. I really understand now." And I think a lot of it is not just running away, but lack of understanding. So
Right.
and me at my agency, the way I try to model our agency is to go by educating more so
Yes.
than being transactional. So when we educate, we break things down to I say, an elementary level, right? Basic fundamental
Yes.
level. They now understand. So now they're more open to it. And we just know how to dumb it down to their level and just kind of meet people where they are, right? And not pressure them about, um, getting a full whole life policy right now when they're young with high bills, young children with a big mortgage. And now, right now, at this point, they can only possibly afford inside of their financial expenses on a monthly basis a term policy, right? And then we let them know
Yes.
how we can gradually build from there with getting the other piece, which is something more permanent once they increase their revenue and income, or when they free up that additional income on a monthly basis in the future.
I love it. I'll make a statement. You can agree or disagree. There's a lot of people out there that lead with the type of policy, whether that's term, whole life, IUL is a popular conversation on social media. But I like to say the best kind
Mhm.
of life insurance policy is the kind that you keep. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. The one that you can keep, that you can afford, that you
Yes.
know for sure that you can pay on a month to month basis without your policy lapsing. Something that you know at the end of the day, you'll have peace of mind. You won't leave your family financially devastated because they're already going to be emotionally devastated. So the one that you can keep is the most important one. I 100% agree.
Absolutely. And when you have a young person like yourself, compared to me, definitely a young person that can speak to them honestly about having a young family, having other expenses. Um, when you're under age 40, 40 or $50 can potentially buy $1 million of term life insurance, depending on the number of years and their health. And I'm sure that's very eye opening for people as well that never thought about themselves being in that position or their families being in that position as well.
Absolutely.
Love it, love it, love it. Brad, how did we you mentioned in your prior financial services life, if I mention it, what did you do prior to Allstate and how did we get you into the business?
Well, I had a list of things that I've done, but all of them pertain to sales and management, right? So we start fresh out of college with enterprise rent a car, which I would
Nice.
say is one of the most intriguing and best programs out there for any business owner, right? And any person that went through that program from the manager trainee all the way up to management, I've seen them excel in their other businesses or other career paths after leaving enterprise. So those are some of the best hires. I actually have a hire now that's been with me 3 years, and he came from enterprise. So enterprise rent a car was one, sales and management, of course, and I learned how to market. I learned how to the importance of building relationships and getting in the rooms, things of that nature, right? And the next thing was car business. I went into the car business and did 100% commission. I wanted to bet
Nice.
on myself so that I could
Yes.
build myself to the area that I was going on my journey, because my end goal, one of my goals were within a 5-year span was to open an agency, right, to get in insurance. And I originally, after that, I went to AT&T and got into
Okay.
sales. I was just building my resume at that point. AT&T, I was an in-home solution manager, and I was slinging phones, man, riding in the AT&T car, going door to door, working my way into the household, leading with service and ending with the sale. That was the goal. So I learned the Jackson, Mississippi metro area because I'm not originally from here, but that gave me a way to learn the entire Jackson metro area, get out here in the communities, and just build my network, right? So on top of that, I was selling life insurance on the side with Primerica, right? Of
Okay.
course, we know about Primerica, and it's a great company. But what I read that I was out marketing and putting some things out via social media, And I had a good dear friend who was one of my mentors to this day and brothers. He reached out. He was an out-state agent in the past where he owned 3 agencies. And he said, "Brother, I see you." He said, "I love what you're doing." He said, "You have the right hustle and the muscle, but the wrong financial vehicle." He said,
Ooh,
"You deserve to be in a more polished setting, doing something a little bit more of quality." He said, "I can
wow.
see you being an all-state agent." And Kel, believe it or not, I was in the program for our opponents, um, State Farm. I was
Okay,
almost at the end, and I was doing
wow.
my business plan and things of that nature, getting ready to present because I was looking for that next step to put something where the Ford name was on there. That was the whole
Right,
goal. And I
right.
ended up listening to him, meeting with that guy. He drove down and he said, "Hey, man, look, I think this would be great for you. Let me connect you with Darnell Scott.
Yes,
You all will get together, man." He said, uh, "What's your finances looking like?" Hey, he said, "I think first start under someone." And I took his
yes,
advice, and man, here I
yes.
am. I started under a gentleman, which was one of his great friends back in 2019.
Okay,
I came in, man, and I was the face of that guy's agency. The first day I stepped into the door, he was looking for some guy who can run the deal and run the show. And I came in and not knowing a lot, but I did know how to
mhm,
manage people, and I did know how to connect and network and build relationships, and I knew how to close business. So anyway, he came in, I built the team there for him, and things started to go well. I did tell him at the beginning I will only do 1 year because within a year I'm going to open my own agency.
yes,
I stuck to my plan and
yeah.
opened up, saw a book. I was looking for books, and he said, "Brad, you know what?" He said, "You can actually buy this book." I'm like, "Whoa." And I spoke with him, and we made some
Wow.
things happen. And here we are in year 4.
Man, Brad, I love the vision. I'm gonna ask you about the vision in a second, and you've talked about your mentor. And I believe I know who your mentor is, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to acknowledge him by name and thank him for that sage mentor and advice for the gift that he saw in you. And some
Yes,
people won't do that, right? They won't say,
that's right.
"Brad, you could be here, you could be way better than me," but he shared that. So please give that brother a shout out just to acknowledge him for his mentorship.
Absolutely. So my brother Marcus Turner, he's from the same hometown that I am. Where I'm from, we're from a small town where BB King, the late blues musician, was from. And he has just sorted, he just poured into me and he saw things that I didn't see in myself at that time. I was just hustling and working hard, but he showed me how to lock in on systems and processes and about being intentional. And since then, we've been just
Yes.
growing by leaps and faith. And I thank that brother until this day and every day for standing right by my side and being a mentor through this entire process. So, Marcus Turner, if you see this, my brother, you know how I feel about you. Hey, I really appreciate you for seeing the vision and just helping me push the vision.
I love it. I love it. And fast forward to today, uh, I want to comment one for people don't think about becoming an insurance agent. They think about everything else. And the communities we come from, they think about athletics, they think about
Mhm,
entertainment. If you're thinking about business, you're usually thinking about mom and pop, maybe something that was in the neighborhood. Where did you
mhm.
get the vision for an insurance agency from?
Well, I tell you this, I had this guy. He wouldn't leave me alone. A guy named Andy Daniels of State Farm in my hometown, small town Indianola that I mentioned. And he tried to recruit me several times while I was working with Enterprise, tried to get me to come back to my small hometown and work with his agency. I just couldn't see it at the time. But he helped me paint the picture to say, hey, look, you can open your own as well. And this could be this and that. And along with that thought and that process, I said, you know what? I said, I always want to own a business. I said, but what am I good at? Through enterprise, that kind of taught me my niche. It helped me find my niche. I was always
Yes.
leading in sales, and my agency or our enterprise location was leading the state in customer service as well, with high customer service scores and sales in the Delta part of Mississippi. And I'm like, okay. I say, well, if I can do this same thing, be a meal team around me and lead them just like I'm doing now that I've done for 7, 8 years, I can do the same thing for the family and for the Ford brand, right? And continue to grow that brand within a brand. And I think this was the
Brad, I
best
love
place
it.
for it.
Without any question, man. And I love it because you have branded your agency on Instagram. You are your family agency, your family insurance agency.
Family
Which one
insurance
is it? I want
agent. That's right. Your family insurance agent.
love you. And if you're listening to this, you're watching this, follow that right now. You will love following this brother right here. He will inspire you on a daily basis. On a daily basis, you need that word of encouragement. He got it for you. It's like your morning cup of coffee. It's good. It'll go right down. It's hot. It will
Oh,
hit the spot. So, Brad,
oh,
fast forward, going to year 4 of agency ownership. Part of this deal is you have gone from being top free agent, top person being recruited, and now you're in this seat and you have to recruit others. I've said to agents that your best recruit is someone like you that wants to be an agent one day. Agree or disagree? Do you think that's your best recruit, someone that ultimately wants to be in a seat just like you?
I agree, Kevin. I tell you why. Most of those people they're gonna help you run your business just like it's theirs. They're going to go over and beyond the basic requirement. And those are the
Mhm.
type of employees you want. Those are the ones I've seen that are most successful. And where I'm almost uh, like, hey, I could just take a step back. I can leave the country if I need to, spend time with my wife or family, come back, and those people have your business still running smoothly without a problem. So I would agree to say that those people that are inspiring to be agents are some of the best candidates for this role.
And Brad, if you can leave your agency, get a little family time in there and step away, that says a lot to me about your leadership style and the fact that you've built some trust and you've set clear expectations and processes for your team. How would you describe your leadership style if you were from the outside, consulting with your agency and looking at what you do well? How would you describe your leadership style?
Okay, me personally and other people have seen this and told me this. I have more of a coaching style.
Okay,
Okay, when we meet morning huddles every
okay,
morning, it's almost like, hey, we're getting in the huddle, we're discussing the plans. I'm big on accountability. Okay,
yes,
um, a lot of people say don't micromanage, but I would say I pay close attention to what's going on, right?
okay,
Because these businesses are our babies, right? These are
yes,
our babies. So while we're nurturing and feeding our business, I pay attention and spend a lot of time with the business. That makes sense without per
of
se
course,
hovering over someone's shoulder. But
right.
I think my style is more so a coaching style, more so we breaking things down in the day by 4 quarters. Top of the morning, win the
Okay.
first quarter.
Ooh,
Mid morning, win the second quarter. All right, lunchtime, okay, halftime. All right, after lunch, we got third and fourth quarter. If you're staying after 5:30, after business hours, and you're still hustling and grinding, hey, it's overtime, and we're trying to win. We want to end with the W, right? So we got our dry eraser board up all day, every moment. Like earlier, Kev, I had one of the LSPs. He said, hey B, I got two VC items going up right now, and I'm changing it. And I still write myself right now, Kev, as I'm growing. And I had 4 items, and I did 2 life policies before jumping on here. So I put it on the board. I said, okay, we're tracking. All right, we got a goal, we got the actual, we got the deficit. All right, hey, where we at? Let's go. We need XYZ before the end of the day. Let's get it. So I come from a motivational space. I come from a spiritual place where I'm going to make sure I listen to them and I'm going to guide them based off of wisdom of what I've came about, what I read about, or what I really think about, my philosophy. But I also allow my people to be themselves as well, right? But I also want them to make sure they're representing the Ford brand, and that comes from the basic fundamentals of how we recruit and the people that we choose to make sure that they're polished, that they're on point, they got great energy. They have to be a duplication of me.
I love it. So, Brad, somebody's listening to this. Somebody's going to listen to this podcast at a later date in Mississippi, and they're going to want to work for you. So, let me ask you a couple of questions. How hard is it to get a license to get into just to get in the insurance business in Mississippi? Number one, and number two, what are the qualities that you're looking for in your next hires?
So super easy to get appointed or get your license. It's about a 300 to $360 investment, depending on the route that you go. You can do the exam FX route, which is less expensive, but no interaction with an instructor, so to speak. But I normally would route my people, if they're people that like to interact with an instructor, to RBS Solutions. And it's an online course, and it only takes 3 days. You go through the class 3 days, you pay about 210 bucks. The next step, you pay about 50 bucks for your test. Take your test, you pass, you go forward and purchase your license for about 100 bucks. And at that point, you're ready to roll. Your license, and now it's time to put in applications for an agency or with an agent that you would like to work with.
So, Brad, this is about podcast number 25 out of 50 that I've done.
Hmm.
That how to get licensed in the state question I've asked everyone, and you've given me the simplest path to it. So,
That's
someone
it.
in Mississippi that's listening to this right now, you know what it is. You know the investment, you know the steps, you know the process, and you know that you'd be honored to work with this man here because if he gives that out there quickly, he also has the steps laid out for you to be successful once you get inside the agency. That is a step by step leadership and guidance. It just makes sense. If I don't have $360, I just need to go out and get it.
That's
I
it.
need to,
Oh yeah.
I need to go
And
out and get it so I can have this opportunity.
oh yeah. And Kale, part two, I can tell you what the expectations is simple. Someone with great work ethic, that's coachable, that moves with integrity, optimistic, positive. Now, if you have those attributes and characteristics, and you're self-confident, that's another thing, and you're outgoing, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine.
If they got that, you could teach them insurance.
You can teach them
If they bring
insurance.
those things to the table, you could teach insurance.
That's it. Hey, those are
Okay.
the basic fundamentals. Bring that to the table. Hey, we got the rest. We got the systems, the processes, and things of that nature.
I love it. Brad, invite me to Mississippi, if you will. Mississippi is one of about, I think I've been to about 35, 37 states. I don't know. I've never been to Mississippi. Invite me to Mississippi visually. If we were doing this in person, where we eating at in Mississippi? Tell me a little bit about what it's like. How big is the city? Where we eating at? What we doing today?
Well, pretty decent sized city. I don't know if you ever been to like a Birmingham or a Birmingham, Alabama, or Shreveport. Um, you have about 6 or 7 suburban area towns or cities around it. Like my agency, you have Jackson, Mississippi, and then you have Ridgeland, Mississippi, where
Okay.
our agency is, right? But I'm
Okay.
about 5 minutes from Jackson. You have Flowood, Mississippi, where Miss
Okay.
Ward's agency is. You have Clinton, Madison, Flowood. You have Florence, Richland, things of that nature that touches the city. Terry, Mississippi, Byron.
Okay.
Those are the surroundings. Now, where we would eat, we would go to Godfrey's. Godfrey's
Okay.
is when I say a nice restaurant, where two restaurants I want to mention. Godfrey's, it's a Jamaican style restaurant where you can get your bourbon, your curry chicken, etc., your oxtails and things of that nature. Really great.
Nice.
When I say great seasoning, here you're going to find that in Mississippi. One thing
Okay.
about it, food is no problem, right?
Okay.
Then we will possibly go holler at my guy, Barbecue Shine. He's right here in the same shopping strip where my agency is. He's a client as well, but Shine has some of the best barbecue around, right?
Ooh.
He does some great turkey legs as well. That's one of my favorites that I like to cook on the grill as well. Um, we have some rich history here. We will go possibly to the museum where we can learn a little bit about
Okay.
Mississippi. You'll learn about the civil rights movement, etc., and some very, very important people that was a part of those movements during that time that help us get to where we are now. So uh, that's kind of Mississippi in a nutshell. We love music down here. Um, I mean, family fun, family gatherings. That is very, very common where you'll see a lot of people getting with family and possibly going to one other person's house and things of that nature. So Mississippi is a fun place to live, and I've been here all of my life. I like to travel other places, but I can say there's no place like home.
I love it. I love it. Man, you gave me an appetite with Godfrey's and Barbecue Shine. I can't wait. One day, my path is going to bring me there.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about uh, the natural hazards that we face in Jackson. My assumption from a distance is that Mississippi is hot all the time, but a few weeks ago you were posting about the weather had dropped and you were trying to help people prepare and make sure that they didn't take the risk of having frozen pipes or anything of that nature.
Yes. So at my agency and me as a local agent, I like to differentiate myself from a lot of the 1-800 numbers, etc. No knock to them, but I like to watch and see what's going on in the community, especially with being a leader and being in our
Mhm.
industry, and also uh, give prevention tips, right?
Yes.
Because we know that uh, if we're not prepping our people. Sometimes, a lot of times, they're not thinking about those things.
Yes.
Us being in the industry, those are things that we're thinking about considering. Because one thing about it, on a positive note, it's bringing light to your customers and that avoid a lot of claims. On a negative
Yes.
note, a lot of claims can lead to disaster and a lot of heartache, both for us and them, if you
Yes.
understand what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Now, as far as yeah. Now, what I've done the last few weeks, I made sure people knew about warming their keeping their water on dripping every night. You're right. Make sure that they have their cabinets open. Make sure that they have their heaters on and things of that nature. Covering their faucets and things of that nature. Just to be a help and a guide and to be that leader in the community. So natural disaster wise, Kev, I don't know if you remember 2023, I think Jackson, Mississippi had a big water crisis where they were just short of water, or it was
Okay.
just water that was filth, right? And it was
Okay.
not drinkable. It was not anything that you would bathe in or cook in. So, what we did at the agency, we partnered with a couple of people that just saw the movement here, where we got pallets of water. And people drove down from the Mississippi Delta area, about 2 hours away, wanted to partner with the FOA agency. We had other agents from other states sending checks and money they wanted to donate. And we gathered cases of water at the agency and we had a drive through the entire time during the water outage. And we were just inviting everybody, just not just clients. We did clients first, where I sent out a blast email to the book of business, but we also was just helping others in the community that was near and far in the Jackson metro area. So
What I love about what you said, people throw the, and I do remember you leading the water drive and sharing it on social media and everybody contributing. What I love also is people use the word leader loosely, like it's a paper airplane, but you defined it with action because being a leader means being out front, not being reactive, is being proactive. You know what's going to happen. So let me tell you some preventive measures you can take beforehand. And when people see that and do that, they know that you're going to be on the other end for them. God forbid if they have a claim, they know you're going to show up then as well. How was your customers affected when those disasters come to any area. All of us, we have to put our game shirt on and we have to show up and help put people back together. Any claim situations that come to mind where you really had to show up for people and put them back together after the weather or tornado or flood ripped things apart?
Well, I would say outside of, I didn't have like a per se client that was just out of whack. I say were too far out of edge of not having things during that time. But I was able to help a lot of clients that were not my clients, a lot of
Yes.
potential clients, uh, and I was able to guide those people on the next steps of what they needed to do. Get the restoration company to come in, get an estimate on how much these things will cost because they just didn't know what were the next steps and what to do. And believe it or not, Kev, a lot of people still don't have homeowners insurance around here because those are homes that they inherited, where they
Hmm.
didn't have to pay a mortgage, where they didn't know that, hey, I need insurance, or maybe they did and they just didn't take advantage of having it, and they had to figure it out the hard way. But we were able to educate some of those people, especially in Silver City, Mississippi. I had clients that stayed in that area that was about 15 miles away from that area, and they wanted me to put their family member on the phone. Brad, I want you to talk to my cousin, let them know how this works. Right. We also have a city called Rolling Fork, Mississippi. I
Hmm.
was able to donate with a motorcycle club, and they traveled down and they actually did the physical work. But we had a lot of people down that way that also restored homes and gave us a call during that time to insure those homes that were once torn down. So that's my experience with those unforeseen catastrophic events.
Well, Brad, your experience is incredible, and anybody that's listening to this or is watching you work and watching what you post, they know what you're doing. And I'm gonna speak something into the atmosphere. You are a future Ray Lynch Award winner for the work that you're doing in the community because you're not doing it in pursuit of it. This is who you are, and this is what you're doing every day. So anybody in the great state of Mississippi that's looking for someone to be insured for looking beyond just the rate, but someone that cares about your wheels, walls, and wealth. They definitely should look your way because your advice is worth, 10 times the price, whatever it is for the policy there. And it stands out in so many places. So, Brad, we're circling the airport and preparing to land this plane and bring it home. A couple of questions I like to ask all my guests. You're working really hard in this business. You are mentoring and coaching other people in this business and other areas of their life. I love your funnel. I took a look at your funnel today and like, I like this. I love what you are
Oh yeah.
doing. You're there for your family. You're there for your ministry. You're there for the community. How do you wind down at the end of the day? How do you decompress from the grind and just have a little bit of a wind down time?
Well, Kel, man, if I can be honest, I still like to play a few pickup basketball games.
Okay.
That takes me back to just having a feeling of not thinking about anything, but enjoying and getting that cardio and just doing something that I loved as a kid growing up and playing in high school and things of that nature. I like to just wind down sometimes by going to a gym and getting in the community and just what we call hooping, man, and sweating a little bit. And then I like to cook, Kev, on my grill, and in the house on the weekend. My wife, she said the weekends are for dad,
Okay.
so I have to prep. I'm always looking at little recipes, and now on social media, I see these reels where they have these nice recipes and a breakdown. I'm like, okay, I need to prepare something for the weekend, so I'll tap in, I'll screenshot it or send it to her. So, hey, this is what I'm preparing this weekend. So I enjoy cooking. Now, also in the evening, man, I enjoy just taking my kids out, especially my baby girl, putting her in the stroller, walking the park a little bit, and just relaxing, sitting
I
on my
love it.
patio watching some sports, and listening to music. I love music. I think music is a thing where it reminds you of times in your life and just brings about a great feeling. I do like a lot of old school and R&B, and man, I just enjoy listening to music, cooking on my grill. and maybe having a drink or two.
I love how you said that. And I was going to ask you what's on your playlist, but before you said it, I knew it was something old school.
Oh
What's
yeah,
your go? Give me some of
man,
the old school stuff that's on the playlist right now. That's right
man.
there, ready to
Right
play.
now, ready to roll. I still like Computer Love, Zapp and Roger. I still like Johnny Taylor. We got Johnny Taylor running out of lies, things of that nature. Um, Also, one of my favorites, I would say Luther Vandross. Still like
Okay,
some old school Luther Vandross, and that would be "Bad Boy." I still like the song "Bad Boy" by Luther Vandross, and that's a cool one. And now we talk about one of the songs that's just going viral across the country. "Boots on the Ground." I actually spent time after work one night. That's another way, Kev, on a weekend, on a Friday especially, go home with the family. We all may get in one room and just dance. And
okay.
those are things I saw my mom and dad do when we were younger. We just kept the tradition kind of going, and man, we'll record and sweat a little bit before we all wind down and just go to bed. So those are some things I like to do to wind down and just enjoy.
You put some stuff out there. Listening to your music taste, I know why you and my son Kev got along so well when you met.
Oh
Y'all,
yeah,
y'all cut from the same cloth. Y'all had some quality time by yourself. I think y'all had a
oh yeah,
cigar or
we
two.
did,
So
we did.
that
Oh
is
yeah, we
that
learned a
that
lot from each other too, man.
no, that's a beautiful thing. Brad,
Oh yeah.
last two questions. First one, was there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything you want to share that you're working on that you're doing I didn't ask about? The stage is yours.
I tell you what, man, what I'm excited about with our local realtors and mortgage lenders, I've created a digital newsletter that I've been sending out. Uh, First off, to the mortgage lenders, right? And they've been receiving it. I'll drop it off to maybe about 15 mortgage lenders via email or text when I have the contacts. And I've been getting some great feedback from that just to continue to educate and bring value, right?
Yes.
I just launched the real estate mortgage, the real estate newsletter March 1, and I've been
Yes.
sending that out to a lot of realtors in our area. So I'm excited about that. That's some things I was working on before the year, but I'm always trying to keep my creative juices going and think about a way to stay creative, to stay different in the market, right? To be non-traditional and not just be a person that's sending over quotes
Yeah,
and
no.
things of that nature, but to just build that value, educate, always educate, educate. So those are some things I'm excited about that we're working on. And Kev, I want to just share the name of that mortgage deal here, and I'll share that briefly. Let's see, the Mortgage Protection Insider. Uh,
Okay.
Mortgage Protection Insider by the Ford Agency. So we send that out every. I started off every week, Kel, but everything's a trial and error. I don't want to overwhelm them, so I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a monthly thing. And I'm
Okay.
also doing the real estate newsletter, which we call it once a month, and just kind of keeping ourselves out there, staying relative as well, and keeping them up to date on what's going on in the insurance world as it pertains to protecting those customers' home that they partner with us and send us.
I think that's genius. As you know, I talk to, coach, work with, network with everybody around the country. In this space, you are what I call FOD. You are first, you are only, and you are different. So keep doing that thing. And thank you for sharing with us right here. Breaking news on Wind Down with Kev. Brad, I always like to close it out with asking my guests to give encouraging words to anybody that might want to be in this business, maybe another business, maybe they're having a hard time, and they could use just a word of encouragement to push through. So if you could help us out with that, that'll be your last words, and I'll close us out.
Okay, awesome, man. So, what I would say, something that I really lock in on, no matter what your faith is, make sure you believe in something and you wholeheartedly have that at the top of mind before you do whatever it is, right? And that's me. I keep God first in everything that I do. I acknowledge Him. I have conversations with him because I have a relationship with him before I do anything or make any move. My next thing I would say, jump. Do what I did.
Ooh,
Jump.
ooh,
Okay. I'll share just a tad bit of my story or backstory. What I did, I cleared my entire 401k to start this business to
yes,
get here this day, to see that amount 4 or 5 times more.
yes,
Okay. Or more. So jump. Don't be afraid. Get a mentor, get a coach, get several,
yes,
so that you can alleviate the mistakes that they've made, that they've already went through, so you can have some guidance and someone to lean on. Uh, get into a community. Never, you may be in business for yourself, but know that you'll never be by yourself, right? Get in a community of winners and others that are positive and optimistic, right? So that's what I would leave with you guys. Be self motivated, right? Don't be scared to jump. If you're thinking about doing it, just do it. If it's on your heart and your mind, go after it with all of your might. And once you lock in and do it, make sure that you are all in 100%, so that you can get the best of what you're putting in. Your outer result will be what you put in. So put it all in. I guarantee you, if you show up every day, you will be successful. Even through the times when you're falling and when you may not be hitting the goal, keep going. Keep going. Stay in the community. Stay motivated, right? And know that there's a higher power that sees where you're going, and consult with that person.
Brad, you crushed it, man. I can't even get to my closeout. You crushed it so much. I'm taking notes. I'm processing this information because, as a giver of motivation, you need it as well. You can't
Oh
feed the
yeah.
flock on empty. You got to be fed as well. So, thank you, brother. You poured into my spirit. You poured into the podcast. The
Thank you.
information you shared is going to inspire new agents. It's going to wake up some tenured agents to really get back on top of the game. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the
Thank you.
community, Jackson, Mississippi,
Yes.
surrounding community are fortunate to have you, your vision, your leadership, all that you've done, and all that you're going to do. And to our guests, to our viewers, to our listeners of this podcast, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this podcast on whether you listen to it live today, you're listening to it at a later date. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, as I know you did, click on the link below to subscribe and get notified when more amazing content like this is coming. Thank you to my sponsors, Carol Media, all things social media, Canopy Connect, all things digital, and Wintrust Bank for all things financial. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Wine Down with Kev.